Jennifer from Flux. Welcome back to another vlog. I'm super excited to give you some updates. It's been a while, it's been a very long winter and we're heading into spring, so I'm super excited to share some sneak peeks, some long-term projects we're working on all year. Lots of you have joined us for those. And I also got a giant box of yarn, so I wanted to show you all of the yarn that I got for this month. So the first thing is Red Heart sent a big box of yarn to my doorstep and it had all of their new yarn inside. So they have lots of exciting new yarn coming out, and the first thing I wanted to show you is this new yarn called Pompadoodle. Now you may have seen this on their website, but this is it's kind of like a cord. Let me just pull a strand apart. And it has these fluffy little pom-poms, and it's such a fun yarn and it's super soft. I have here the cotton candy, it's like pinks and purples, and also this one is called Meadow. It's blues and greens and white. It comes in lots of different colors. I'm going to be sharing more information about this yarn soon and some fun little projects to make with this yarn. When I first saw it, I was like, what do I do with this yarn? There is a free pattern on here of a bath mat, so that's fun. But I have some more little projects with this yarn coming soon, so stay tuned for those. And again, this is called Pompadoodle, and it's so much fun. The next yarn I got is called Dreamy. This is a new yarn from Red Heart as well, and it's a smooth strand, but it has like this fuzzy halo around it. Now this is called the Aqua, but I got some other colors because I have like kind of a mini series of projects coming up with this yarn this spring. So stay tuned for that. There's going to be lots of fun projects with this yarn, and as you can see, it's a giant ball of yarn. It has 466 yards per ball of this. So stay tuned for that. That one's called Dreamy. More information coming soon. The other thing I got in the mail from them is, if you follow the Flux YouTube channel, I've done Yarn 101s and projects with their yarn called Scrubby. This is a new one called Scrubby Smoothie, and this is more of like a classic dishcloth yarn. So I was really excited about that because I use cotton yarn all the time for projects, especially in the warmer months, to make things like light garments or dishcloths and things like that where you need something with a good cotton. So this is some of the colors that they offer. This is called Blueberry. This one is Aqua, again like the other one, and then this is Coral. So I have just a small sampling of colors, but they have lots and lots of colors. All of the links to the yarn that I'm showing you, I'll put down below if you want to see more colors or get some for yourself. But I have some projects coming with this yarn as well, and I'm really excited to try a new cotton dishcloth yarn because I use the cotton yarn quite a bit. The other thing that I'm super excited about, I know a lot of you have been asking, is about the spring crochet along. So we have some other crochet alongs going on already that started at the beginning of the year, and I will talk a little bit about that later on in this video. But we do also do one each season. So our last one was the holiday crochet along that we do every year, and then when the new year flips over, we do a spring crochet along, and then later on in the summer we do a summer one, fall, and then we're back to the holiday crochet along. So the spring crochet along is going to debut in the month of May, and I'm going to give you a sneak peek of the yarn that we'll be using. Now I'm not going to tell you all about it yet. I'm still figuring out the amounts of yarn that I'll be using. But I'm going to show you one of the colors and the type of yarn it is. The yarn that we'll be using is called Baby Hugs by Red Heart. Now this is called Baby Hugs, but I think that it is great for anyone. It is super soft and it's a perfect line of yarn because it comes in so many beautiful spring colors, making it perfect candidate for our spring crochet along. And this color is called Lilac. So it's a beautiful purple. So just a little sneak peek of our crochet along. In my next video, we'll share some more colors. And on that note, one more new yarn I wanted to show you that Red Heart sent me is called It's a Wrap. Now Red Heart didn't have many cake yarns right away when the whole cake yarn craze was going on, but they've come out with some cake yarns recently, one of which is called It's a Wrap, and it's a beautiful, actually let me take one out. I have a couple here. Now this is even newer. This is called It's a Wrap Rainbow, and as you can see, this little photo here gives a little example. It comes in tons of colors. I have a neutral palette here, but It's a Wrap Rainbow and It's a Wrap are some new cake yarns from Red Heart. So I was really, really excited when they came out with their own cake yarn line. Now, that brings us to a sneak peek of a pattern that I'll have later this week. And I am just going to show you the piece, and I'll share the pattern in the video later on in the week. But here is the winter palette version of the pattern. And a little sneak peek of, I did a bright color because I love bright colors, as many of you know. But this is a sneak peek of something. So stay tuned later in the week. I'm going to have the full written pattern and video tutorial for that. But it's just a lovely square, and I had so much fun making it. So I can't wait to share that with you. I'm putting the finishing touches on the video. And last but not least, let's move on to our year-long crochet alongs. So we have 2 going on, and if you haven't joined us, there's still plenty of time. You have the whole year, and it's just the first few months, so you'll have plenty of time to kind of come up to speed with us. The first one is the 2018 Fiber Flux Temperature Shawl Crochet Along. That's a mouthful, but what we're going to be doing is, and here's the progress of mine, but this is what I have so far for 2018. And as you can see, it's fun colors, and I have a whole rainbow of colors. So if you've never done a temperature project, this is, we're doing the weekly average temperature because I wanted to make it a really kind of low-key, low-stress project. We're only doing 1 row a week for the whole year. And so we're going to have, at the end of the year, we'll have a beautiful wrap. Now, some of you have picked your own palettes. Some of you are doing more of like a rainbow style like I'm doing. And based on the temperature, as you can see, the bottom is much colder, and as we are moving through the year, it's going to get warmer and warmer, kind of peak at its top temperature in the middle of the year, and then go back down to cold temperatures towards the end of the year. So I'm super excited to see how this project plays out, and so many of you have been sharing photos of your temperature shawls, so keep those photos coming, and use the hashtag FiberFluxCal to share your work with all of us. We also have another year-long project, and I'm super excited, I have it right here, about how this one is working up. And this one is a really neat project too, because everyone's looks completely different. Some of you are even using a totally different stitch than I'm using. But this is called the Granny Stash Down 2018, and use the same hashtag FiberFluxCal to share your work as well. Lots of you are working on this project. But what we're essentially doing is making a gigantic granny square. So what I did was I chose a palette of just very loosely based on pinks, blues, and purples. And then what I did was I went into my stash and looked for similar weight yarn. It doesn't have to be exact. I just looked for something that was recommended, like an I, J, or K hook. And I picked similar weight yarn, threw it all in a basket, and then I've just been adding rounds onto my blanket, and it's working up so beautifully. I originally did white and cream color, but I didn't like the way it looked. I wanted to kind of stick with these jewel tones. So some of you are doing rainbow, some of you are doing one color, just shades of one color, and those are really pretty as well. But I have the full video tutorial on how to make the granny square if you're not familiar with that. And I'm using a K hook, but you may want to experiment a little bit with the hook. And one person actually was telling me that she was switching hooks. So you can try all different things. It's really all about you with this project and the yarn that you have on hand. I know so many of us have so much yarn just sitting around and it's not really being used. And sometimes I have yarn where it's just a small amount and I don't really have any use for it. It just sits around, and it's a shame to kind of just let it sit around when you can display it in a blanket so beautifully. So if you haven't joined us for that, still plenty of time. We have the whole year that we're going to be working on this project, and I hope that you'll join us. So I'll put all the links down below for everything I mentioned in this video, and join me again for my next vlog, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching, and happy stitching. Have a wonderful week and a wonderful April. Thanks everyone. Bye.